Now it's great that we can create a sub-procedure that looks at each cell in a designated range of cells, and depending on the value in the cell, it will perform different actions. But what if I want the user to be asked, what range do you want to affect? For this, I'm going to actually ask you to grab another sub-procedure, or again, if you want to type it, by all means do. But this sub-procedure in the code file is called ask me. So I'm just going to grab sub ask me to end sub, copy that and put that into my Visual Basic editor and bring up Excel. Okay. What this does is it's a sub-procedure called ask me. It declares my cell as a range, might add comma, and it declares my selected cells also as a range. Now what it then does is it sets my selected cells as an application input box. Now an application input box will bring up a prompt asking the user to enter, i.e. type, or use their mouse and select a range of cells. And this application input box will also have a title called pick a range. And type 8, unlike earlier types where we looked at 2 was text and 1 was a number, type 8 is a range of cells. And that's actually earlier in your notes in the section that addresses application input box. So this is expecting a range of cells, and then for each my cell in my selected cells, with my cell selector, if my cell's value is numeric, it's a number, and its value is greater than 100, so it has to meet 2 conditions with the and, then my cell's font is bold, true. Otherwise my cell's font is not bold. With the if comes the end if, with the with comes the end with, and then for comes next, so for each cell. And this bit here I'd even select it and tab it in a bit, so that's separate. So let's give this a go. So I'm going to press the key, probably F5, and run it. And here immediately we see the application input box, this section here. Here's the prompt, enter or select a range. Here's the title, pick a range. And it's expecting a type H, which is a range. So let's go for something where we've got numbers and not numbers, and some values are not greater than 100. So I might go over here to A38 and choose, B38 to F39, and we've got a bit of variety there. And you can see it's just filled in the range for me just by selecting with my mouse. And if I click OK, those ones that are numbers and are greater than 100 have been turned into bold. And let's make this a little bit more startling. So let's not only make it bold, but let's also say my cell, full stop interior, full stop color, equals VB yellow. Otherwise, let's say that's fine. So again, I would probably go F5, select a range, and I might go broader this time. I might go all the way over here like this, and OK. And those cells which did contain a number and the number was greater than 100, it has made them bold and it's made them yellow. So that's an application input box, which is a type 8. Now if I ran this again and went F5 and select, and then didn't choose to select a range, if I just went cancel, then I get an error 424. And again, showing the user the debug and the end buttons is not a good idea, because if they hit debug to error 424, they'll be able to go straight into your code, and accidentally or otherwise they'll change your code. So I'm just going to hit the blue square to reset the yellow, and I'm going to add some error handling. Immediately under sub ask me, so I'll press enter, I want to put on error, so it knows right from the beginning what to do on an error. On error, go to error handle, which is actually the name of a section. So on error, go to error handle. Then down below and immediately above the end sub, I'm going to create a section called error handle. And it has a colon in the end. And I'll put an if statement. If the error number equals 424, then exit the sub. Don't go any further because they've chosen not to select a range. And let's try that. So if I press F5 and then I cancel, I don't get an error 424 because it knows straight away on error, go to error handle, and error handle says if the error number is 424, then exit the sub. So that's quite handy as well. What I'd like you to do is have a go at the exercise where you move to each sheet, and then within each range in each sheet you format accordingly. Have fun.